Hey guys, it is Meme Dreams Game in here, and today we're going to be talking about how to survive early game in heavily populated areas such as the military base and the schoolyard. So, there's a couple things you need to think of when you first drop. First, you need to think of your strategy. Now, you can either go for the aggressive sort of land on the roof and take a bunch of fights, which that's probably about a 50-50 chance you're probably just going to die straight out. Or you could land to the side, try to find a weapon, and then chase someone down, or wait until the main battle is done and then kill whoever survives. It really depends. It's really up to you. I sort of do a mix. It depends on my situation. If I find a weapon early off, I will go for a fight. If I don't, I will play it more passive. It really just depends on the situation. I got lucky here and found a good weapon early on, but don't be afraid. If you only have your fist, you can still kill someone without a headgear almost in one shot, as you'll see here. I made a mistake here. I didn't think he could really kill me. He didn't have a weapon. I thought it'd be easy, and look how close he was to killing me. That would have been terrible. That would have been so sad. But I got lucky and I survived. But now I'm in a bad spot. I have low health. I'm in this building. I hear a ton of gunshots around. I think I'm dead here. I have no healing. That so I changed my play style. I'm now playing passive. I'm just looking to survive. Maybe find some health gear, pick up the scraps, and maybe surprise the guy that won the fight inside the initial fight zone, sort of inside the school. So now here I'm just playing it passive, picking up items, and from what it sounds like everyone's in the main school area and no one is in this building. So I caught a break here. But that's one of the most important things early on. Make sure you're using your audio. It is so important to know where your opponent is in these close quarter areas. Now, the next part, after you land and you figure out your strategy, is play around the sounds you hear. If you hear shotguns, do not go rushing into a tight quarters battle because obviously you're just going to get shotgun to the face and just die. So make sure if you hear a shotgun, try to take longer range fights like down a hallway or try to get your back to a wall and make it a more advantageous fight for you. And then obviously on the other end, if you only have a shotgun, try to stay in rooms and close quarter fights so you can get a jump. Even if they have a rifle, you should have the advantage if you have a shotgun. Now, my next tip is make sure you are fully clearing the rooms and areas. There's a lot of times in these populated areas, some people don't get a good drop and they'll just try to hide in a room or hide in a corner trying to get the jump on you. Now, this can be avoided if you check everywhere. Like here in the bathrooms, I make sure to check all the stalls because I know sometimes people will hide in there and crouch in the stalls to just sneak by you. And I've actually been killed that way before. Someone waited in there with the shotgun. I didn't expect him to come in, and all of a sudden I got shotgunned in the back. So make sure you're checking your surroundings in your buildings and also, try to realize where you are in the game. At this point, I started to hear less and less gunfire, so I started to know, okay, I think the main battle's done. There's probably maybe one or two people in the main school area now. So now I start to move my way over there, and I can start to take some fights. And pretty much whoever wins this final fight is pretty much the winner of the school area. Then they pretty much have complete reign over everyone in the area. And this is another perfect example of situational play. I see that I only have an SMG and I have only 75% health. So I know I'm going to be at a disadvantage compared to whatever the other person has. So my strategy right now is I'm going to go room to room. I'm just going to listen and see if I can catch the jump on him. If I can catch the jump on him and he's not expecting me, I should be able to win the fight. Now, I'm checking each room and I'm listening. Right now, I hear him above me, so I start to slow down and I just wait in the room just listening. I hear him go down the stairs. It wasn't this stair set, it was actually one down the hall, but I hear him walking. So I'm just slowly moving up, waiting for him to pop out. And eventually I hear him walking down the hallway, and you can hear him slowing down. So I assume he's gonna look to go into a room right about here. And this is where popping out of rooms gets you a huge surprise. All of a sudden, he was running down the hallway. I heard him, shot him, easy kill. Now I own the entire school area. I now have, all the supplies. I can have multiple assault rifles. I have the best armor, and I have medical kits so I can heal back up to full. This is a game changer because, especially if you find an SKS with a times 8 scope or something like that, you can be off in a really good spot for the game, all because you were able to win the school area. And sometimes you don't, everyone thinks about the school area or the military base thinking, oh, you need to kill 4 or 5 people to take control of it. You really don't. All you have to do is get a good weapon. You either wait it out or find a good spot that you can overview. And as long as you know where your opponents are, you should be able to win those fights. So in this case, I only had to kill 2 people, and one person didn't even have a weapon. So it was a very easy clear of this area, and now I have everything all. My next tip is make sure you know how to use a pistol and how to fist fight. Now, the pistols in this game I feel like are neglected. I rarely see people ever using them unless they really have to early game, but that's why it's so important to learn how to use them. When you only have a pistol early game, getting a couple well placed headshots can be the difference of living and dying, especially if your enemy has an assault rifle. All of a sudden, then you go from a pistol to an assault rifle with armor, and your game is 10 times better. Even in pistol duels like this, just having the right aim and knowing the recoil on your weapon can be very important. I also want to mention sometimes you shouldn't take a fight and you should just run away, especially at these highly populated areas. There's a good chance that the other 2 people are just going to end up killing each other. So don't get involved, or if someone's shooting at you, try to hide if you don't have good equipment. This way you can either survive to fight another day, you could find better equipment so you can take that fight, or if you even hide in a spot and they chase you, you can get the jump on them. Just if you hear they have an assault rifle and you only have a pistol, don't try to take them on a one-on-one gunfight because chances are you're probably going to lose. And my final tip is make sure you are falling down as fast as you can. You should be hitting 234 kilometers an hour when you drop, and you should try to go as straight down as possible. Obviously, since you reach the ground the quickest, you can start looting first, and then you can have a weapon before anyone else, which is a huge, huge advantage when it comes to these early game gunfights. In summary, guys, my points for this is make sure you have a game plan beforehand, make sure you drop as quick as possible, make sure you are listening and adapting your playstyle based on what you hear around you, and make sure you don't always take the fight. Sometimes you don't want to take it, sometimes you do. It all depends. A lot of PUBG, as I've mentioned before, is situational. You need to know when to take the fights, when to not take the fights, and how to play them, which all comes in due time with practice and that. Also, don't feel like you guys have to go to the military base or the school zone. Sometimes that's just not your playstyle. If you don't go to those aggressive areas, you don't have to. This is just if you enjoy going to those areas. Now, sometimes, as we all know, anyone that goes to the popular area knows it's always a 50-50 at the beginning because, for all you know, you can land, you can start to grab an item, and then someone can just pop out with a shotgun and kill you instantly. I personally love going to the populated areas because it keeps the game interesting because it's very fast paced early on, And what's the worst that would happen? You would just die and you hop right into the next game. No harm, no foul. It's not like you're dying 30, 40 minutes into a game. So it's fast paced. It's fun. If you guys have never gone to these very populated zones because you feel like you're just going to die right away, why don't you try out some of these tips? Tell me how it works for you guys. I remember early on when I started playing this game, I hated going to these zones because I'd never win the gunfights and I just sort of run around with the shotgun hoping I'd catch someone off guard. But from these tips, I've started to change my play, and I hope I explained these tips well enough for you guys. Tell me how I did. As always, guys, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for watching the video. Peace.